What's up, YouTube and wrestling fans? My name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got plenty going around. This is my WWE Smackdown review on highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please full watch the video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content where I give you guys the full breakdown of my review and not the half of my review. Go check out my AEW Dynamite review on highlights. And happy 4th of July to everybody. I hope everybody's doing well, eat good, drink good, and having fun shooting fireworks. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, WWE Smackdown was taped tonight. I watched Smackdown, but I did not even get spoiled. So that's all I gotta say. It was pre-taped tonight, and I might as well say this was a solid show to bid up towards Evolution next week, July 13th. This was a solid show for what it was. Now, WWE SmackDown was live from PPG Pace Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Commentary tonight with Wade Barrett and Joe Testor. WWE SmackDown kicks off with Jacob Fatu grabbing Solo from his car in the parking lot and attacking him. WWE officials break it up, and we head inside the arena. Live in the arena, Cody Rhodes music hits, and now he comes to the ring. We see clips of him defeating Randy Orton at Night of Champions to win King of the Ring. He holds the King of the Ring crown, and as fans chant his name, he asks the fans what they want to talk about. He says before he talks about the crown, he wants to point to his wristband and says there is a young man in Club 66, Cam, who is battling leukemia. The fans give Cam a round of applause. Talking about the crown, he says he had to beat Jey Uso and Randy Orton to hold the crown. He says the crown stands for where they have been, and where they are going. Past King like Booker T, Bret Hart, Steve Austin, and Triple H, and it stands for where they are going. The main event of SummerSlam, himself, the King of the Ring, against the undisputed WWE Champion John Cena. So basically what I'm saying is that John Cena is going to drop the undisputed WWE Championship back to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. That's the only way I can see it. All right, let me continue. Randy Orton music hits, and now he comes to the ring. He stands face to face with Cody and tells Cody that he had told Cody that we would do whatever it took to win King of the Ring, that he would not hesitate. But at Night of Champions, he had Cody dead to rights. But he hesitated, and Cody did not hesitate. Cody pulled the trigger, and for that, respect Cody for it. He won't forget it, but there is one thing he asks of Cody. He tells Cody to promise him that he would not waste the opportunity, that he will go to SummerSlam and kick John Cena's you know what. Drew McIntyre's music hits, and now he comes to a loud pop from the fans. Drew McIntyre comes out holding a microphone. He tells them both to shut up and is pathetic. He asks when this beta male energy took over WWE, and thank God the Alpha has returned. Drew McIntyre tells Randy Orton that Randy knows why he lost. He lost the physiological battle before he didn't punt Cody. He says Cody has been buttering Randy Orton up for months, like a true politician. He gave Randy Orton a big hug and a knife in his back. He and speaking of Randy Orton's back, his surgically repaired back. He says Randy Orton tweaked his back at Night of Champions and somewhat attacked it, and that was Cody. And Randy Orton still did not punt Cody. He asked Randy Orton what happened to him. He was a Viper, the legend killer, the apex predator. He says the legend of Randy Orton is dead. Drew McIntyre turns to Cody Rhodes and calls him Super Cody. He wants Cody to win at SummerSlam because he wants Cody. This is 20 years in the making Pharrell careers. He wants Cody to win the title so he can be the one to rip it off his hands. And he won't hesitate. Unlike somebody, Drew McIntyre turns around and Cody gives him an arcade. Cody so Drew McIntyre turns around and Randy Orton gives him an RKO. Randy Orton is face to face with Cody Rhodes, and he walks away with Cody looking confused. That was a I'm also say that was a pretty good promo in my opinion. All right, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. All right, we cut backstage and Charlotte Flair is with Nick Aldis. He tells Charlotte Flair that Tiffany Stratton will pick her opponent for Evolution, which is Trish Stratus. But tonight is a tag team number one contenders match against the Secret Hurries against Mitch and B Fab, and whoever wins gets a title shot at Evolution. So I already knew that Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are going to take the titles off of Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. Watch, I tell you, it's going to happen. All right. In comes Alexa Bliss, who tells Charlotte Flair, "You're welcome." They make it clear that they are not friends, and Charlotte Flair tells her there should be a tag team partners. They should be tag team partners. Charlotte Flair says she doesn't like to share the spotlight. Alexa Bliss tells her she hasn't been in the spotlight in a long time. Nick Aldis tells Charlotte Flair that maybe sometimes Charlotte Flair does not know what is best for her. Alexa Bliss asks Charlotte Flair if she wants gold at Evolution or not, and Charlotte Flair says fine, but not to get in her way. Alright, so we get Nick Aldis, Drew McIntyre, and Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso. Alright, Drew McIntyre is backstage when and he stops. He tells Nick Aldis that Randy Orton struck first, and he wants Randy Orton. Nick Aldis tells him Randy Orton has left the building, but he can have Randy Orton at Saturday night's main event, which is Drew McIntyre is going to lose to Randy Orton at Saturday night's main event. All right, let me continue. Drew McIntyre tells him that work, and he turns around to see Jacob Fatu. Both men are face to face, and Drew McIntyre walks away. Nick Aldis tells Jacob Fatu he knows he is upset, and he would be too. But if he wants to fight, he can find a partner, and he will get both Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo tonight. In comes Jimmy Uso, and Jacob Fatu asks him if he is ready to get in where he fits in. Jimmy Uso says yeet, and they shake hands. And Jacob Fatu says yada da ming and walks away. That part was funny. When it comes to Jacob Fatu, he knows how to cut a good promo, and that's all I gotta say. All right, let me move on. We get the match right here: Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Secret Hurries versus B Fab and Mission. So we get a triple threat tag team match. So Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Secret Hurries versus B Fab and Mission. And this triple threat tag team match right here, this was a okay. It was just not very good. It was just like okay for what it was. The bell rings. We are underway. Alexa Bliss, Mitchell, and Piper Niven start the match. Charlotte Flair tags herself in as Piper Niven and Mitchell go after Charlotte Flair. So Mitchell with chops onto Charlotte Flair and Mitchell with a kick onto Piper Niven and Charlotte Flair, taking them both down. Charlotte Flair on the ring apron and a big boot onto Mitchell. Piper Niven knocks Charlotte Flair down to the outside of the ring. Alexa Bliss check up on Charlotte Flair and Mitchell with a suicide dive onto both women. Piper Niven with a cannonball onto Mitchell and B-Fab. Apple Fire climbed the top rope and she dives onto Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. Commercial break. Back from commercial with Apple Fire down, Charlotte Flair hits a spear onto Piper Niven. Charlotte Flair climbs the top rope and passes Alexa Bliss on her head, making Alexa Bliss the legal competitor. Charlotte Flair with a moonsault onto both women. Chelsea Green gets on the ring apron, and Charlotte Flair with a big boot onto Chelsea Green. Alexa Bliss with the Twisted Bliss onto Apple Fire and Piper Niven. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. The match itself was okay for what it was. I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it was really good, but the match was okay for what it was. And I already know what I just said just now. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair are going to take the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions off of Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez. I guarantee you, and that's going to happen. And I'm calling it straight down the middle. All right, let's move on. Nick Aldis is backstage with the tag team division. He says everyone has had to get involved in the match against the YS6. Nick Aldis makes a match between Andrade and Ray Phoenix against Axiom and Nathan Frazier. He says it will be no one. He says he will be one member of each team against the YS6 tonight. So we go to commercial break. All right. So we get the second match. Montez Ford, Berto, Johnny Gargano, and Chris Sabin versus the Wyatt Six. And this tag team match right here, um, this was a decent tag team match. This was decent for the was. Barto with the crossbody against Joe Gacy. He gets back up and Joe Gacy takes him down with a clothesline. He goes for the cover, but Barto kicks out. He throws Barto to the ropes, but Barto with a crossbody off the second rope. Dexter Loomis is tagged in, but Barto with a kick to the side of the head. He grabs Dexter Loomis, but Dexter Loomis throws him across the ring. Johnny Gargano is tagged in, but Dexter Loomis with a right hand, followed by a side slam. He goes for the cover, but Chris Sabin breaks it up. And comes Uncle Howdy, and both teams are in the ring as they begin to fight. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Dexter Lewis and Montez Ford are in the ring. Dexter Lewis goes for a backdrop. Montez Ford lands on his feet and Chris Sabin is tagged in. Chris Sabin climbs the top rope and lands a drop kick. Joe Gacy is tagged in. Chris Sabin with a clothesline, followed by a leg scissors takedown. Dexter Loomis gets in the ring and Chris Sabin with a backdrop. Chris Sabin takes out all four members of the Riot Six. Chris Sabin goes for the cover on Joe Gacy, but Dexter Loomis breaks it up. In comes Montez Ford, who throws Dexter Loomis to the outside. Uncle Howdy is tagged in, and Montez Ford throws Joe Gacy to the outside, and Montez Ford with the senton over the top rope onto both men. Barto is thrown to the outside by Uncle Howdy. He slams Chris Sabin down onto the mat. Eric Rowan is tagged in. Montez Ford gets in the ring, and Eric Rowan with a kick onto him. He throws Barto down. Chris Sabin with a DDT onto Eric Rowan. Chris Sabin about to goes for the tag as Eric Rowan gets to his feet. Johnny Gargano looks at Eric Rowan and he gets scared. He drops off the ring apron. Eric Rowan with a splash onto Eric Rowan with a splash onto Chris Sabin from behind. Eric Rowan with a crossbody onto Chris Sabin, followed by the Iron Claw slam. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, the Riot Six. Now this was a decent tag team match. So we go to commercial break. All right. So we get the next segment. Tiffany Stratton, Jerry Cargill, and the Hall of Famer herself, Trish Stratus. Now this segment right here, very good. This is a very good segment in my opinion. So that's all I gotta say. WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton walks down to the ring. She gets in the ring and asks the fans what time is it, and they say Tiffy time. She says since becoming champion, there has been a target on her back, and she was the last woman standing against Nia Jax, but now her sights are set on SummerSlam, and she will fight Jade Cargill. But she is also ready for Evolution. Tiffany Stratton says Io Sky got to pick her opponent and now she will get to pick. As she is talking, out comes Jade Cargill wearing the crown, the Queen of the Ring crown. Jade Cargill tells Tiffany Stratton that she sees her and she respects her. But Tiffany Stratton was barely standing while she was crowning herself as Queen of the Ring against Asuka. Tonight, Tiffany Stratton has a choice to make, and if she chooses wrong, she won't be at SummerSlam. Jade Cargill says, but for her, it doesn't matter who she faces, she will win the title. Tiffany Stratton tells Jade she is happy she is out there and she has a surprise for everybody. Tiffany Stratton comes down to the ring. Tiffany Stratton invited Trish Stratus because they teamed up at Elimination Chamber, and she thought what would what would Evolution be without some Stratusfaction? She challenged Trish Stratus to a match for her title at Evolution. Jericho Gill tells Tiffany Stratton she can pick Trish Stratus. It doesn't matter who it is at SummerSlam. who it is at SummerSlam. Trish Stratus thanks Tiffany Stratton and says Evolution holds a special place in her heart, and it represents everything they fought for. Back then, they had to fight to go. They had to fight to have one match on the card, and now at Evolution, they will have the entire card and an incredibly talented woman. She always says that careers are made of moments, and Tiffany Stratton gave her one when she got to wrestle in front of her kids. But her kids have her never seen her be champion in the ring, and it does have a pretty nice ring to it. An 8-time champion. Tiffany Stratton said she wants to make one thing clear: this won't be easy. It's not the Attitude Era anymore. And Trish Stratus says that's a good. He says that is good. She is involved. Tiffany Stratton tells Trish Stratus and Jay Cargill that they will realize that the WWE universe runs on Tiffy time. That was a good segment. You know what I'm saying? And I already know that we are going to get Tiffany Stratton versus Tiffany. So Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Champion. That's a dream match for myself that everybody has been asking for, and now it's finally happening. And we're going to get that match. Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton. That's the dream match by itself that everybody has been waiting for, and we're going to see that match. That match itself is going to be good in my opinion. All right, so we get Soul Sokoa's video package. A video promo of Soul Sokoa airs. He says he is the new United States champion, and he introduced the newest member of the family, Tala Tonga. He says this group is not the bloodline. It is much stronger than ever. He says himself and JC Mateo will take care of them. He says these are his MFTs, his family tree, and now his family is complete. So we go to commercial break. Trish Stratus is backstage with Jay Cargill. She tells Trish Stratus that she is happy for her, but if she wins, she will see her at SummerSlam. Trish Stratus walks away, and Naomi hits Jay Cargill from behind with her Money in the Bank briefcase, and she tells Jay Cargill she should have proceeded with caution. In comes Nick Aldis, and Jay Cargill tells him to give her Naomi. Now, the heel Naomi has been awesome. That's all I gotta say. So it is what it is. So Jay Cargill's gonna get Naomi. So it is what it is. Fraxium. Next, so we get the next match. Fraxium versus Andrade and Ray Phoenix. And this tag team match right here, this was fun. This was a fun tag team match to watch. The bell rings were underway. Andrade with an arm bar onto Nathan Frazier, but Nathan Frazier gets out of it. Both men exchange reversals. Nathan Frazier to the ropes and Axiom is tagged in, and as is Ray Phoenix. All four men are in the ring. They begin fighting. Commercial break. Back from commercial. Nathan Frazier and Ray Phoenix are in the ring. Nathan Frazier with the headlock and Axiom is tagged in. They double team Ray Phoenix. Axiom goes for the cover, but Ray Phoenix kicks out. Axiom throws Ray Phoenix into the corner, but Ray Phoenix knocks Frazier down. Ray Phoenix with a DDT onto Axiom, and both men are down. Andrade is tagged in, and as is Nathan Frazier. Andrade with a close onto both men, a dragon screw onto Nathan Frazier, and he lands a flying forearm onto Axiom. Andrade with three Amigos suplex dedicated to Eddie Guerrero. Ray Phoenix is tagged in, and Ray Phoenix with a frog splash off the top rope. He goes for the cover, but Nathan Frazier kicks out. Ray Phoenix knocks Axiom down off the ring apron. Ray Phoenix climbed the top rope, but Nathan Frazier with a kick to the side of the head. Nathan Frazier climbed the top rope, but Axiom is tagged in, and Nathan Frazier with a superplex off the top rope. Axiom goes for the cover, but in comes Andrade, who pushes Nathan Frazier onto Axiom to break it up. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Andrade with the double knees onto Nathan Frazier. He goes for the cover, but Nathan Frazier kicks out. Andrade climbs the top rope and he goes for the moonsault. Nathan Frazier moves out of the way. Andrade lands on his feet and lands a moonsault. He goes for the cover, but Axiom breaks it up. In comes Ray Phoenix, but Axiom throws he throws him to the outside of the ring as both men falls to the outside. Nathan Frazier places Andrade on the top rope and kicks him in the side of the head. Axiom climbs the second rope. Nathan Frazier is tagged in. Axiom with the Spanish fly and Nathan Frazier on the top rope. He lands the finish splash. He goes for the cover, but in comes Ray Phoenix, who lands the double knees on Axiom onto Nathan Frazier to break the cover. Both teams are up. Andrade with kicks onto both men. Ray Phoenix with the Adios Amigos on Axiom, who falls to the outside of the ring. Ray Phoenix with a splash over Andrade onto an accent on the outside of the ring. Andrade with the message onto Nathan Frazier. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Andrade and Ray Phoenix. This was a fun tag team match. Fun tag team match to watch. All right, let's move on. We cut backstage, and Damian Priest is with Aleister Black. Damian Priest tells him that he wants to talk to him about R-Truth, but Aleister Black tells him that's fine. Damian Priest tells him that R-Truth does not see it that way, and Aleister Black has a match against R-Truth next week. Aleister Black tells Damian Priest that if he doesn't know any better, he will say Damian Priest is setting his friend up, but Damian Priest is the good guy. He wouldn't do that. Aleister Black tells him is violence against violence. Damian Priest asks Aleister Black, who told him he is the good guy, and told him that R-Truth would be the victim to violence. Black Aleister Black laughs and backs away. Alright, so we get the main event of the evening. So we get a tag team match. Jericho Fatu and Jimmy Uso versus Solo Sikoa and JC Mateo. And this match right here, this was a this was a decent match. Decent main event for what it was. The bell rings were underway. Jacob Fatu attacked Jason Potato on the outside of the ring and he throws him into the barricade. He throws Jason Potato into the ring and Jimmy Uso is tagged in. Jimmy Uso with chops to the chest. He runs to the ropes, but Jason Potato takes him down. Sosa Cole tags in and hits Jimmy Uso with a forearm. He throws Jimmy Uso to the ropes, but Jimmy Uso with a big boot. Jimmy Uso knocks JC off the ring apron, but Solo Sikoa with a spinning solo. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Solo Sikoa with a running hip attack onto Jimmy Uso in the corner. JC Mateo is tagged in and he grabs Jimmy Uso, hitting him with right hands. JC Mateo with a standing moonsault. JC Mateo with a running elbow to the face. He goes for another elbow, but Jimmy Uso moves out of the way and he lands a Samoan drop. Both men are down. Jacob Fatu is tagged in and at Solo Sikoa. Both men with right hands. Solo Sikoa to the ropes, but Jacob Fatu with the clothesline followed by a senton. Sosako with a splash in the corner, followed by a headbutt. Jacob Fatu goes for the cover, but Solo Sokoa kicks out. In comes JC Mateo, but Jacob Fatu with two spears. Jacob Fatu with two super kicks. Jacob Fatu with a running hip attack onto both men. Jacob Fatu climbs the top rope and he lands a swanton onto Solo Sokoa. He goes for the cover, but Jason Mateo breaks it up. Jason Mateo with right hands, and in comes Jimmy Uso. Jason Mateo picks him up, but Jimmy Uso lands on his feet, and he lands a super kick. Jimmy Uso with a splash over the top rope onto Jason Mateo and the outside. Jacob Fatu with a suicide dive onto Solo Sikoa on the outside of the ring. Jacob Fatu throws Solo Sikoa into the ring, and he goes for a splash, but Solo Sikoa moves out of the way. Sosako with a super kick. He goes for the Samoan spike, but Jacob Fatu ducks and he lands a DDT. Jacob Fatu climbs the top rope and he lands the moonsault. He goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso. So, so that's all I gotta say. The winner of the match, Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso, and this was a decent tag team match for what it was. All right, Jacob Fatu clears the announcer table after the match. He places Source Core on the announcer table, and Jacob Fatu climbs the top rope. In comes Tonga or Tonga Loa, Tonga Tonga, well, Tala Tonga, whatever his name is, who slams Jacob Fatu down onto the mat. In comes Jimmy Uso with right hands onto Tala Tonga. Tala Tonga. It's the Anyway, Tonga. But in comes Tama Tonga. He he Here comes Tama Tonga, and he takes down Jimmy Uso. Tonga. I think it's Tonga. Yeah, Tonga Loa. What what a big boot on Jimmy Uso. Solo gets in the ring, and as does Jason Mattel, who slams Jimmy Uso down. Tama Tonga with a twisted neck breaker onto Jimmy Uso on the outside of the ring. Jacob Fatu is held by JC Mateo, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. Sosa with the Samoan spike onto Jacob Fatu. They drag Jacob Fatu to the outside of the ring, and they powerbomb him through the announcer desk, and SmackDown goes off the air. All right, let me read the match results. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defeated Secret Herberts versus B Fab and Mitchin. The Riot Six defeated Montez Ford, Berto, and Johnny Gargano and Chris Sabin. Alright, Andrade and Ray Phoenix defeated Fraxium. Jacob Fatu and Jim Uso defeated Soul Coin and Jason Mateo. And WWE SmackDown goes off the air. Alright, let me get my honest opinion what I think about WWE SmackDown, and I'm gonna be for real this time. Alright. Now WWE SmackDown was pre-taped tonight. I watched SmackDown and I didn't even in that without getting spoiled. So WWE SmackDown was a solid show building up towards Evolution. So that's all I gotta say. So WWE Evolution is next week, July 13th. So next week Saturday. So mark this on your calendars that July 13th next week is WWE Evolution. And that show should be good. So that's all I gotta say. But go check out go check out my AEW Dynamite review on House I post on the channel. Make sure you go watch that full video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. Go check out my AEW Dynamite review and highlights. And go watch that full video from all the way from the beginning all the way towards the end. But anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow live on Twitch for some Fortnite. I want you guys to be there and be square. You know what I'm saying? Be there or be square. You know what I'm saying? I cannot wait to see new friends that I met on TikTok over there on my stream on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. So I'm going to grind for affiliate. I got affiliate in 2019. I'm going to get affiliate again in 2025. So I'm going to become your two-time affiliate world champion, and I need everybody's help. So yeah, man, come to my live stream on Twitch tomorrow for some Fortnite, and stay in my live stream from the beginning all the way towards the end. It's okay to lurk, but make sure you guys come back to my live stream on Twitch just to hang out with me. It's all about having some fun, because I'm here to build a stronger community, and that's all I gotta say. And I support small streamers only, and that's all I gotta say. I want you guys to have a great night. Enjoy and happy 4th of July. Enjoy your 4th of July with your friends and family. Shoot fireworks, to eat good and drink good, and that's all I gotta say. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. I will see you guys in my world premiere for my WWE SmackDown review and highlights at 4 o'clock a.m. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And happy 4th of July to everybody. Because at the end of the day, it's just too sweet. And I'm out of here. Gang.